Well, good afternoon and welcome to BBRC Britain and English. And may I first take this opportunity to extend a warm and pleasant welcome to all the new visitors and new subscribers to this channel. Thank you for joining me, and I do hope you find it interesting and informative. Well, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the media and politics. Well, I don't normally talk about that. Not really the subject most people would talk about, but certainly it's got its reasons today. A lot of things have happened since the start of the new year. So today you've actually got a dose of both, rightly or wrongly. You may have noticed I don't really use scripts or notes, other than perhaps a few keynotes, or not always keynotes, perhaps not even anything written down here, as I don't have today. It's all spontaneous, but I have used a bit of logical thought and referred to various sources which would be of value to you. Well, since the start of the new year, we've had a big scandal in this country. It's been the post office scandal, and in particular, Mr. Bates versus the post office. Now, this was a drama series, went on for 4 hours, but basically it was on every night from the New Year's Day, 1st of January, on for 4 nights about this terrible case, terrible injustice where former post office masters were actually dragged through the courts because of discrepancies with their finances and their accounts. It was all down to the IT system. And subsequently, it's now it has been in court before, but it's now a typical media interest going through everything with a fine tooth comb from what the post office knew. And then there's the IT provider, which is Fujitsu, a Japanese company, but it's also got an operation here in Britain. And they're being asked a lot of questions they don't know the answer to. The post office is not much better either, not seeming to know what's happened, what happened to some of the information. And it does appear, quite conveniently, that some of the sources and some of the records from the past 20 years, would you believe, that's how long it's gone on for, at least over 20 years, have gone missing. Fujitsu aren't sure what's happened either. So that's another problem. These poor old people, certainly these poor sub-postmasters, were dragged through the court. Some have died. There was some suicide. So it's a very serious case in this country. And there's also some people have died since anyway. And now there should be some form of redress, some compensation for the poor people that have lost life, lost their houses, lost family, lost their all credibility in society, lost their livelihoods, and all respect. And basically they lost everything. Very sad case. And that's something that's happened in this country. You may have also heard about the Hillsborough case. That's where people who suffered death at Sheffield Hillsborough Football Stadium, the game against Sheffield Wednesday versus Liverpool in 1988, people were wrongly labelled and things, and all sorts of went on with regard to what assumptions with the newspapers where I think it was 96 innocent people died, including children, at a football match. Everything has changed since then, but it was because of it was assumed to be hooliganism, which it wasn't, but there was some of that at the time. There was also big fences around the football stadium to keep people sort of penned in, and they let too many people in, and nobody could get out. Basically, they were all blocked in, and people got squashed. Mercifully, all things have changed now, but that's what happened back then. But that's another case where it's taken years to get anything resolved, and any compensation for the poor old victims. And it's a big problem in this country. The small man in the street against the big company. And there's other unresolved cases. I think it's the Birmingham 6, the Birmingham pub bombings. There's victims of that. Never seen anything resolved. And livelihoods and reputations have been ripped apart and lives ruined. It's very, very sad. I'm sure this happens in other countries, but it seems to take an awful long time to get through the courts here, get to the bottom of it and the honest truth. It's very sad for the victims. We've all been through some injustices, but we do think about those people. But now, going back to the post office scandal, they are trying to get things sorted out. The Prime Minister has offered to sort things out with compensation pretty quickly and promptly. But of course, the last Labour lot didn't do anything. It goes back to 1999. Nothing was done, apparently, till 2010. Maybe they didn't know what to do. And the chief executive of the post office didn't really seem to do much. But there's been various people in the chain since then and changes of office there. Well, that's what's been happening this year. We've got a lovely day here. Look at the good side of things. Cold though, very cold here. Now this year, I'm hoping to actually do a little bit more on location, more English for any of those of you from abroad, because I know some of you are from abroad, and those of you who are new subscribers, as I say, I will do welcome you those in London and other places. I know there's somebody from Hong Kong as well, and like I say, London, there's a few people, and there's probably a few more that I haven't mentioned there, but you're all very welcome, and I hope you enjoy this session, and that they'll be interesting for you. Anyway, we'll do another session probably in the next month now. I'm still looking for accommodation on a personal note. I am still looking for a flat. I've even got boxes here as we speak, as you might be able to tell there. So another trauma and challenge for me. But other than that, a lot of things going on. We may even have an election later this year, rightly or wrongly. Not sure any of the parties have got much in the idea of policies at the moment. The Conservatives are still trying to sort out what they should be doing, what should have been done during COVID. They're hampered by all policies they should have done, and serving the Red Wall and everything. So, and then there's been so much since then that that was put on hold, I think, really. Although they've probably done a few things which hasn't been publicised, but sadly, there's not so much done as perhaps should have been done. And not sure the next lot, if they come in, the next party, the Labour Party, will do anything really. They don't seem to have any policies. So, this country, we're in a mess. I know America's got an election coming up, talking about politics, which we don't normally talk about, as I say. So we'll probably look at the lighter side of things again, and like I say, English language, places of interest, and I do hope you enjoy it all. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I do hope, wherever you are, you have a great rest of the week, and we'll speak again soon. God bless you now. Thanks very much for joining me here today. Bye-bye now.